Hello, I'm Pastor John Wertz Jr. I'm one of the assistants to the Bishop for the Virginia Synod, and I welcome you to this pre-assembly meeting as we discuss the investment ministry plan for 2025 and the compensation guidelines for 2025. Both of these documents have been recommended by the Synod Council and will be considered at this year's assembly. To help things move smoothly at the assembly, we want to take a moment and show you both of these documents, answer some basic questions to help you prepare. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see where these documents are, and then we'll talk just a little bit about each of them. So this is the Virginia Synod website. On this website, if you go to events, you'll see this open up that says 2024 Virginia Synod Assembly. I invite you to click on that button. There you'll see opportunities to learn a little more about the assembly theme, to get information on other pre-assembly meetings when they happen, the general arrangements. And if you scroll down, this is where all the documents that are going to be considered are housed. Want to click on the 2025 investment and ministry plan that's proposed. When you do that, you will get this document. This document runs through the proposed plan. Over the last few years, general mission support, which is giving from congregations to the Virginia Synod, has declined as giving to congregations and engagement in congregations has declined a little bit in some places. Now, with that in mind, the Synod Council has adjusted the amount of giving that they expect to have come in during the current year, or I should say during 2025. The whole plan then is built off of these numbers where we talk about mission support from congregations, and that gives an anticipated amount of overall funds that will come and be a part of the ministry of the Virginia Synod. From there, the spending plan scrolls down through this investment ministry plan, gives you a breakout of how those funds are going to be used, or at least planned to be used in ministry. What you'll see is that most everything stays identical from 2024 to 2025. There's a lot that we want to see how it's going to unfold over the coming year. And so the decision was made to keep things basically the same. That means that when we get to the end, we show a larger than expected or a larger than hoped for proposed deficit. But the thing that you have to remember about this plan is that the Synod Council has the ability to reduce what we invest in terms of ministry, but they can't exceed this bottom number. So by going ahead and setting the bottom number a little higher, we give the Synod Council the flexibility to adjust as needed. It's really hard, as you all know, to project what is going to be going on in 2025. And so the proposal here is to basically hold the line on what we are investing in ministry, and then give the Synod Council the ability to adjust as needed in 2025. So that's the investment ministry plan that will be considered. Again, most everything here is identical for 2025 to what it was for 2024, except for what is anticipated to be given by congregations. So that's the investment in ministry plan. And then the other piece that we want to show you is this plan for 2025 compensation guidelines. Each year, the Synod Council goes through, looks at compensation guidelines. Those come to the Synod Assembly. They're then considered and approved by the Synod Assembly. What has changed for 2025 is all highlighted in yellow. So as you scroll through this document, you'll see an introduction, and there you see where the changes have appeared. In this case, the note here that's changed from previous years is that we're recommending, as we have in the past, a range of an increase between 3 and 7%, really tied to cost of living and to experience. And also that has something to do with the step increase that is here as well. And we'll look at that in just a moment. Um, as you scroll down through the document, you'll see again, a lot of this has stayed the same. There are places where some numbers are going to be updated when we get a little closer to 2025. Um, and then you'll see places like this where things that have been a part of our compensation guidelines, but really have showed up in other documents where questions were asked about that, those have gotten added to this document. Things about vacation time, things about healthcare and retirement benefits, about compensation for part-time rostered ministers. All of those things really have appeared other places. They're now just getting consolidated into this document. So we all have a similar understanding as we move into our conversations about compensation. Again, there's little spots about healthcare. The same things are getting added in multiple places. The one piece that most folks are interested in are these tables. These are the tables that show compensation with our steps. And again, the way the steps work, they're a 1.75% increase per year. And then this is what it would look like if you were going for a 3% increase, or a 5% increase, or a 7% increase. So there is a chart for rostered ministers, for pastors who have a housing allowance, for pastors who have a parsonage, and there is also a chart for deacons. So each of those charts is there. Each reflects this 3 to 5% increase. That's what we've done the last couple of years, and so that just continues. As I said, there are a few other spots in this document where we're making updates to reflect changes, but as you see, there aren't a lot of changes again this year. The big changes that show up, and again, the things that lots of folks want to see are these charts that give information on compensation as it relates to years of experience. So these documents will be considered. Thank you again for taking a little time to learn a little about the Virginia Synod 2025 Investment Ministry Plan and the 2025 Compensation Guidelines. Unfortunately, we were able to do this as a live video. And so if you have questions, I invite you to share those questions with me. I'll either get you the answers myself or find the folks who can get you those answers. If we get enough people who have questions, we'll even put together a little frequently asked questions document and tag onto this video to make it easier to find. You can always email me at wertz, W-E-R-T-Z, at vasynod.org. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to send them there. Thank you again for being a part of the Virginia Synod.